Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining me today. It's the Canadian Fire Gal. Today I wanted to chat about something that I think a lot of people in the fire community are really into, and that is side hustles or side jobs slash side income. So just getting right into it, I want to say that having a side job or a side hustle is a really great way to make you a little bit of extra cash. It also kind of allows you to be a little more flexible with your spending. For me, for about 4 or 5 years, I had a second job on the side, and I used the income from that second job to play with. After all my base expenses were covered, I would save all of the extra income that was coming from my full-time regular job, like my 9 to 5, and then all of the income that was coming in from my side job I used for entertainment, for going out, for traveling, and it really let me spend money without any kind of guilt. I do think in the financial independence retire early community, you kind of get this feeling that a lot of people feel guilty and very uneasy about spending money, because when you spend money on something, it means you are detracting from your fire goal. And not that that is necessarily a bad thing, but a lot of people are just trying to totally get out of the rat race completely, and they want to retire as soon as possible. So I'm going to go through some of the things that I've done in my own life to make money on the side. And what I'll start with is actually having an extra job. So doing a retail type job on the weekends or during the evenings. I did that for probably about 4 years at one place, and I didn't make a whole lot there. It was like, I don't know, $12 an hour, I think. And I worked once or twice a week, sometimes a 4 or 5 hour shift in the evening and then a full day on the weekend. What was really nice about working there was it was retail, but it was actually very relaxed. The people that were coming in were usually in a really good mood. The store was quite small, and it was very steady, especially evenings and weekends. So it went by very quickly. Getting a side job, such as something in retail or maybe working in like a warehouse, a gas station, anything that's sort of an easier job you can do with not a whole lot of experience, I think is really great if you have the time and the energy and you want to pick up some extra cash on the side. It's definitely not for everybody, especially if you are working more than a regular 40-hour work week at your normal job. If you're expected to do like quite a bit of overtime, it might not work out, but that is an option for people that have that kind of time and are interested in maybe trying out a different job. Having a side job like that is a really great way to meet new people too. Something I've done over the years, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well, is selling stuff on Kijiji. In the last few months, I've sold about $300 to $400 worth of things that I just haven't really been using, and I wanted to free up a bit of space. So selling stuff on Kijiji is a really great way to get a little bit of cash and get rid of some of the clutter in your house. And I would say that depending on how often you go shopping or find things that you grow out of, this is super relative to your life. I think you could probably do like one massive purge and get a bunch of cash at once. And then hopefully you're making purchases in the future that are a little bit more conscious of long-term use. Another thing that I've been doing recently, especially since the whole COVID-19 quarantine thing has been happening, is selling my clothing on a website called Poshmark. There are other websites that are like this, but I found Poshmark's, the app is super easy to use and everything, and I think I've sold about $150 worth of clothing and like jewelry and stuff like that. I normally sell to a place called Plato's Closet. If you haven't heard of it, it's like a secondhand store where you bring in your clothing, and it's meant for kind of the mid-teen range type of fashion, like early 20s, very trendy type of items. And normally I would bring some of my older clothing there and make, maybe an average of like $2 to $5 per item. And then when I discovered Poshmark, I put some of my more valuable items on Poshmark because you can get quite a bit more money on that website. I've also found it to be like a great way to actually buy secondhand clothes as well. If you're looking for something that's in really good shape or that is like a kind of a more expensive brand. So using a website or an app like Poshmark or something similar, I think Depop is one as well, is a really great way to give your clothing and your accessories and everything like that a second home and a second life. And I think that that's great for sustainability as well. Poshmark isn't just for women's clothing, by the way. There's a pretty big market on there for men's clothing as well. Sold men's shoes on there before and men's sweaters. This is something you could do throughout your life as well. For me, I find that I buy items and I wear them quite a bit, and then my style kind of changes, and I want to sell that item so I can make room in my closet for something different. In this same vein, I think Etsy is a really good spot if you're super creative and you like to make things. Things like jewelry or home decor, maybe even items of clothing that you want to customize. Etsy's a really awesome place where you can get super creative and sort of try out being your own boss, I think. If you have a creative passion, you want to be like a painter or make clothing or something that really you just get to create and design and then sell it, Etsy's a really great spot to do that. I've tried it before and I didn't have a whole lot of success, but I was working a full-time job and a part-time job at the time, so I didn't really have a lot to put into that. And it's a great platform to get your creative stuff out there to the world, especially if you have something that's like super unique. Something else that I hear a lot about on the financial subreddits or just in the fire community is people being landlords. So buying property like a condo or a house and then renting that out. This is for people, I think, that really want to be involved and have a bit larger of a portfolio so that you can purchase a property and maybe fix it up a little bit and then rent it out for enough that you would be covering your expenses and then making a little bit of profit as well. The really great thing about buying property and investing in that and then using it as a rental is that once that mortgage is paid off, then all of it, or not all of it, but the vast majority of that rent could be profit. So in the long run, I think investing in real estate in that way so that you can rent it out is a really, really great way to supplement your income and to pay for things in retirement. It could potentially mean that you're retiring a bit earlier, but again, it really depends on if you can afford to have a second mortgage. I think it's more for people that are definitely making a little bit more money and are more open to risk. It's hard to find tenants that are gonna stay long-term and that hopefully will take good care of the place. I think there is like quite a bit of risk in doing that, but it's absolutely an option to do that kind of thing on the side and generate income that way. One of the most obvious ones, I guess, especially in the fire community, is investment income. So that is any kind of money that you have in the market or in stocks, whatever it is, that is paying back dividends. And when those investments make money, then essentially you're making money as well, especially if you're selling when it's at a higher amount than what you actually put in. So that's the whole, like 4% rule that I can cover in another video if you guys aren't familiar with it. But it's essentially saying that your investments, 4% of that, you should be able to live off of. So if your goal is $1 million and 4% of that is $40,000, then you are expected to live off of that $40,000 a year. So that is, of course, another way to generate income is to invest in the market. For me, my investments, they're not making me a whole lot right now, but I'd say that they generate about $2,000 every year in interest, which isn't bad. I mean, my money, instead of just sitting in a savings account, is in investments that are actually generating a little bit of income on the side. Obviously, the goal is to get to a point where my investments and what they're paying back will cover my expenses until the end of my life. Another thing that I've been seeing recently is doing something like freelancing. I discovered this app called Fiverr not too long ago. I read up a bit about it. I downloaded it. I haven't actually used it yet, but it's essentially a platform where you can post what your skills are. So if you're really quick at typing, or you maybe have like an English degree, or you have some experience in graphic design or video editing, anything that's like that, that you could do online and do remotely for people, you post like an ad advertising what services that you could provide, and then you put a dollar amount to it. and people hire you, I guess you have to build like a pretty big portfolio of customers and good reviews and all of that before you actually start making like a good amount of money. But if freelancing is something that you're already doing or that you want to try, I think you might want to check out Fiverr. In the future, I'm going to test it out because I have a lot of administrative experience, data entry, a lot of things that I think companies outsource. So I'm going to look into that later on. But things like that, freelancing in general is also a really great option just to get a bit of side income as you're going through your life. Something that's come up in probably the last month. So I've been seeing a lot of kayaks for rental on Kijiji. And I would imagine you could also rent out things like paddle boards or boats, or you could probably even rent out your own vehicle. Airbnb and renting out your apartment is another big thing. If you have a second bedroom in your apartment, or maybe you're going on an extended vacation, you could rent that apartment out on Airbnb and make quite a bit of money. As long as your condo board or your apartment leasing agency or whatever allows that, you can make like quite a bit of money if you're in like a trendy area in a city. I haven't done it personally, but I've stayed in a lot of Airbnbs, and it's like pretty decent what those people make from just having an extra space that they can rent out. Another side hustle you could probably do if you are a big animal person is Pawshake. Pawshake is an app where you go and babysit other people's animals, so dogs, cats, rabbits, whatever it may be. You just make a profile and post on it and then post your hourly rate. I haven't done it myself, but I do use Pawshake when I go on vacation. So I just wanted to give you guys a really quick rundown of the kind of side hustles or side jobs that I've done in the past and how to supplement your income, give you a few ideas. If you guys have some ideas on what you've done in your life to make a bit of side income and increase your net worth, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks again so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe if you're interested in hearing more about the Financial Independence Retire Early community, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Airbnb and renting out your apartment is another big thing for a lot of people. If you have a second bedroom in your apartment, or maybe you're going on an extended vacation, you could rent that apartment out on Airbnb and make quite a bit of money as long as your condo board or your apartment leasing agency or whatever allows that. You can make like quite a bit of money doing that, especially if you're in like a trendy area in a city. I haven't done it personally, but I've stayed in a lot of Airbnbs, and it's like pretty decent what those people make from just having an extra space that they can rent out. I guess it'd be similar to being a landlord, but a little less, probably a lot less work, because Airbnb, that's where all the hard work is kind of taken. All the hard work is already being done for you by them. They have the platform. You just upload photos and your pricing and where you are and all of that. Another side hustle you could probably do if you are a big animal person is do something like Pawshake. Or Pawshake is an app where you go and babysit other people's animals, so dogs, cats, rabbits, whatever it may be. You just make a profile and post on it, and then post your hourly rate. I haven't done it myself, but I do use Pawshake when I go on vacation for my cat. And normally I pay about $20 an hour, and then I meet the person in person before making it permanent, and then give them the keys, and they come in for about an hour every day just to make sure my cat is good, clean her litter box and everything. But that could be a really great option for you if you love animals, and if you're normally around and maybe you have a vehicle that you could get to and from certain spots. I think Pawshake also does where you take the pet like into your own home. So that could be an option as well. It's something to look at for sure if you're just thinking of ideas of how you can make a little bit of side cash. So I just wanted to give you guys a really quick rundown of the kind of side hustles or side jobs that I've done in the past and how to supplement your income, give you a few ideas. If you guys have some ideas on what you've done in your life to make a bit of side income and increase your net worth, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks again so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe if you're interested in hearing more about the Financial Independence Retire Early community, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.